and in some ways positive because it means the process is working? Or should we worry about the fact that this is going to delay the vaccines that the world economy so desperately needs?
The pace of development of all of these vaccines and therapeutics has been absolutely unprecedented. And one of the things that's been most remarkable is the fact that there have been almost no hiccups, which always happens in pharmaceutical development. So the fact that we are seeing some complications, and honestly, these are things that we normally wouldn't even hear about in the course of development until something more significant had happened. So the idea that we are hearing about it means that they are taking it seriously. There are many things in development. Hopefully, we're winnowing out the ones that are less effective, that are less safe, and in the end, we'll end up with something that's really going to be helpful, perhaps a little bit later than we otherwise would have.
Michelle, do we know anything yet about certain types of vaccines causing certain problems maybe or becoming more problematic? Same thing with antibody treatment?
We are learning a lot more this morning about Lilly's antibody treatment, and that is similar to the one that President Trump got. That was from Regeneron. The Lilly treatment we are seeing was being used in a very high dose in this patient population. They were also getting remdesivir. So it's the combination that might be an issue here, or perhaps the high dose. Other Lilly trials have not been halted. So that suggests that perhaps it's not just this drug that they're concerned about. This is really important because these are for people who are already sick, who already have coronavirus. In some cases are hospitalized or you're fighting it at home. So they really need something. On the vaccines, it's still early days. With Johnson & Johnson, we don't even know yet if the person who fell sick actually got the vaccine. I was talking to a doctor last night who told me he's been gotten calls when someone died, and it turned out they had been shot. So obviously not related to the vaccine at all. With AstraZeneca.
Greetings upon greetings.
Hi, everybody.
I'm going to come a little bit closer to my baby love, is it? I can say that, you know? Because she is my baby love.
You're so extra today.
All right.
Can we start the show professionally?
Nah, it's already started. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday, everybody. Gosh. So, what's happening here?
It's way too much is happening.
This world, guys, is going crazy. So, vaccines. Guys, we're going back into a lockdown, as you can see, before I jump into this story. And before I start this, I want to start by saying that I really want you guys to understand that a lot of these things that are happening, none of this is new. We've been speaking about this for a while, and a lot of things that we were speaking about in June, Dave and I, unfortunately have come true. And now we're going to be entering into another lockdown. York just has restrictions now. They say it's like 30 days, but last time they said 30 days turned into months. Yep. So we'll be probably locked down for a while. And what's coming next, guys, is it's going to be coming to a place where they're going to be enforcing vaccines. I'm going to tell you this now. It's going to be enforced that you have to get a vaccine. And you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with vaccines. I personally don't. I think that they have been helpful. But I also believe in the safety of humanity when it comes to vaccines. That's the biggest thing for me. And this is why I talk about these things and why I'm showing you guys that I don't know about you, but I don't want to rush and put anything in my body that's not been tested. And vaccine tests can sometimes take up to 20 years just to make sure that it's safe. They're trying to
force ripe as
warp speed.
You know what I'm saying?
They were trying to get this out by the 8th of November.
Good luck.
Right, but clearly that's not working, and this is why.
That's okay.
Lilly and Co. said enrollment of participants in a clinical trial of its antibody treatment for COVID-19 has been paused due to a potential safety concern pushing down the company's shares. So they're losing some money now, obviously, because there's some problems that are attached to this vaccine. This antibody trial. An independent data safety monitoring board recommended pausing enrollment in the U.S. government-sponsored trial, and a company spokeswoman said in a statement that Lilly didn't provide information about what caused the panel to recommend the pause. You don't need to tell me any information as to why it was paused. The fact that anything that's been put to a pause,
you know, it's something's
wrong. Not right. So, Indianapolis-based Lilly is one of several companies developing a so-called monoclonal antibody therapy, which can potentially help those who find that they have COVID early, okay? So it's been seen by pharmaceutical executives and government health officials as a viable bridge to a vaccine, okay? So the class of treatments was spotlighted when, of course, Mr. Donald Trump received a similar therapy developed by Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Inc., after he was infected with COVID-19. They forgot the fact that he was also taking hydroxychloroquine. They didn't add that. They think it has to do with some antibody. Now, again, these are things that they say, and people just throw things out here. Like, how do you know what actually helped him? It could have been whatever this pharmaceutical company gave him.
Right.
But how do we not know it was not hydroxychloroquine? Because he also has come out to say he's taking that.
Mm-hmm.
The media likes to just spit things out. And for most of us, we don't take that time to stop and pause because there's something wrong with the story.
Well, you know, it's the new war on drugs, right?
Right. So Trump has since called the therapy a cure and said he would push for it and other similar treatments to get approval in the U.S. So such pauses for large clinical trials can occur and don't necessarily mean they say that anything's wrong. So a final decision must be made by the monitoring board before any further action is taken. But we're not done. No, I have more. You know who else put a halt on their COVID vaccine trials?
What, the baby powder makers?
After a mysterious illness. Now, this is the part that's scary. This one scared me because I'm like, if many of us go into our bathrooms, our babies' rooms, a lot of us will be using a product by this company, Johnson & Johnson's. Yes, they are making vaccines as well. Scares me though, because if they're doing stuff like this that are getting paused and you're putting all this type of stuff on your children, like, how do we know what is really... Okay, so they've temporarily halted its trial of vaccine for COVID-19 after a test volunteer developed a mysterious illness. So this is another thing too. Mysterious illness. What the hell happened to him or her? What happened?
You see, of course, you're looking at wordplay right here,
Of
right?
course I am.
Which
This
is magnificent because it just
beautiful.
so many question marks.
Yes, like what
Right?
mysterious illness? A mysterious illness, like what? Like what happened to you? Like why can't you tell us, why won't you let us know what these vaccines are doing to people? Don't tell us mysterious illness. Tell me you're jacking up this man's brain or her brain. Why don't you tell us that? All type of neurological diseases. Wasn't that happening with AstraZeneca?
Yes.
At least they were a little bit more forthcoming. So it's the second time in 2 months that wow. So one a month. That it's been halted because of this unexplained, again, no name to it, illness in a test subject, which raised some current concerns with the safety of the vaccine and dampening expectations of a quick fix for the pandemic. So I want you guys to be listening to the words, because that's a very important aspect of this, just this article here and this news story here. Quick fix. A lot of us, they are breaking us down mentally, because when you are broken down mentally, because no one wants to go into another lockdown, it's damaging businesses, it's hurting our mental health, it's messing up our children's education. The only way, guys, to go back to normal is to get a vaccine.
That's in their eyes.
In their eyes, guys. This is not me saying. This is what they're forcing you to basically lie prey to eventually. Because they're mentally breaking us down, guys. This is what's happening. Eventually, you guys are going to want this quick fix that's going to hurt you or your children or your loved ones. So I want you to think about these things when they start coming to you about get a vaccine, okay? Researchers conducting the Johnson & Johnson trial, which includes 60,000 volunteers around the world, were told Monday to pause testing of the single-dose vaccine. The New Jersey-based corporation is one of the handful of companies in the world that has reached the final phase of testing on people, okay? This is something from them. I'm going to read from what they've put out on one of their releases. We have temporarily paused further dosing in all our COVID-19 vaccine candidate clinical trials due to an unexplained illness in a student participant. According to a statement from, again, the company, More details will be revealed after the trial participants' condition is more thoroughly evaluated. Well, at least Johnson & Johnson tried a thing. They didn't just say... Actually, are these the idiots that said mysterious illness?
They are the ones that said a mysterious illness. They just went ahead
and tried to go around it again?
Well, they just put their PR spin on it, right?
It's also assured, so they assured us.
Oh, okay.
The adverse events, illnesses, accidents, etc. I'm like, what, there's more?
Wow.
What? Even those that are serious are an expected part of any clinical study, especially large studies. I want to also remind you guys that vaccines companies, these pharmaceutical companies, are exempt from any liability. I want to put that out to you guys again. So your arm could fall off. I think I've said this before.
And that's everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's everywhere, not just in the States. It happens here as well.
They have...
Yes, the good Prime Minister made sure that was okay.
No, my child can't think anymore. My child has autism, which has been a study for years.
Very, very much proven.
Guys, yeah. So, wake-up call for everybody. These quick fixes that they're coming up with, they're trying to come out and push out even for next year, because now they're saying late 2021. They're trying to add on a little bit more time to it, but they're going to keep us in lockdown till March. So we'll be begging for a vaccine in September, because we do not want to go back down into a lockdown for another 6 months. Guys, pay attention to what is happening. When we come back, it's funny. So there's an ad that came out in Berlin.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for you guys to see this.
That's funny. And then we talk a little bit about Ice Cube. He pulled a move. He did something, and you know what? We'll be interested to see what the community has to say about it. So we'll see you guys soon on A Better Tomorrow.
I have a friend called me from the Bahamas because the COVID is hitting the Bahamas and they will not let me. Why would a president decide that I'm not going to use a medication that can work to take care of my people?
Yes.
You know, a friend called me from, a pastor friend called me from Trinidad and Tobago. Same issue. They will not let them take the medication. This is, how can you ban a medicine? Oh, we're just going to listen to WHO. Who is WHO? WHO is supposed to work for the people. WHO right now is only working for Bill Gates. WHO right now is only working for the globalists that want people to put maximum fear on people and then give us a vaccine. I ask all the time, why would a college dropout like Bill Gates be allowed to make medical decisions?
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I like how you just dropped us. Thanks, Grant. Really appreciate it.
Are you sure?
I always tell him to give us some type of like fancy come in, and he never does it, guy. He just does like a drop.
Just a drop?
Can you give us a fancy come in, please?
You mean
like the turn screen.
There you go. We're now back.
Now we're back. Much better. Welcome back, everybody, to Better Tomorrow on my TCN TV network. Before we jump into this story, I want to remind you guys to, of course, like, share with the community, and subscribe so that you guys can get tuned in every week to some positive news, some education, and yes, alternative from what is being shown in the mainstream. If you are bored of hearing the same thing over and over again, you know, you have options, people. We are an option. So where else would you ever hear about an ad in Berlin where they have a woman giving the world of anti-maskers the middle finger? Can we put up this picture, please? So, okay, hold on. Leave this up for a second. So I want people to see the title for this. So the woman's middle finger is for all those without a mask, the ad reads. So a recent series of advertisements launched by the city of Berlin's tourism department has ruffled a few feathers. So critics are pointing the finger at one ad. That's why they're trying to use play on words. That was kind of cool in particular.
There you go.
And we have another picture where she's actually showing the finger because I figure you guys need to really see the picture. So the raised index finger for all those without masks reads, which also features an image of a woman brandishing her middle finger. We obey the corona rules. Now, Visit Berlin, the official tourism website of Germany's capital city, had released the campaign in September along with a series of public service announcements aimed at encouraging tourists and locals to wear masks amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. So the campaign's message, which has also been approved by the Senate Department for Economics, Energy, and Public Enterprise, also, that was great, also specifically targeted restaurants and bar owners, I can't even talk.
Oh my goodness.
Who are currently subject to a number of coronavirus regulations regarding capacity, spacing, and hours of operation. So a representative for Visit Berlin had also confirmed to the BBC, actually, that its use of the term index finger, despite the woman in the ad clearly brandishing her middle finger, was an intentional choice.
Yes.
So the Senate seems to think that insulting people is more successful than strict, clear rules with efficient controls. And that's the editor-in-chief of Berlin's, I can't even say this word. It's a newspaper there. I might even want to try it. I'll try, okay. I'm never going to stop.
It's okay.
Tagesspiegel. I did it. Tagesspiegel newspaper.
Maybe.
They failed with that completely. Yeah, like, you can't be. So even the mayor of Berlin claimed that the ad was a little embarrassing, you know, despite what the other people are saying. So on Wednesday, they pulled the ad. To pull it. They pulled the ad.
But this thing went through, who do you say it went through again? The Senate Department?
The Senate of Economics,
Energy,
and Public Enterprises.
And Public Enterprise. Wow. There's like a one-person team that said, yes, go for it.
Just give the finger to everybody who does not wear a mask.
Yes.
That's crazy. Disrespect people for having a freedom of choice.
$dollars as well.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
I can't even believe that they put this out.
Absolutely amazing.
Who was thinking? No, marketing person. That person needs to be fired.
Or give it a new job.
Fire him.
Or another job.
Like, what is this? Anyways.
Boy.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
So what you got to offer? What's happening in the stateside? I went to Berlin. We always like to go all over the world. We're not going to stay in one place. You know?
All right. So last week we talked about the platinum plan.
Listen, I'm about platinum
You're
planning.
about the platinum plan.
Okay.
All right. So come to find out that Ice Cube was actually working with the Trump administration regarding the platinum plan.
I think we have a video about it because I think he has some stuff to say.
Yes, please. Let's go ahead and run this clip.
What's happening, fam? You already know how I get down. Over the last few months, I've been really going deep into this political space. You know, reading a lot of history, trying to understand how systems work. the gravy train of these candidates. They got every black celebrity and shit on their team. At some point, we got to figure out how do we get ahead, because everybody's on top of us but us, or everybody's on top but us. And the shit ain't gonna work. We ain't gonna survive this. The way it's going, it's just designed that I can't see the future. So we gotta change this shit. Everybody's been mad at me because I haven't been on the fucking, the gravy train of these candidates, especially Joe Biden and Harris. I don't trust none of them. No president has done right by us. So I don't trust none of them. So putting our hopes and dreams behind any of them just don't work. We gotta make them do what we want them to do. And
all right, so that was Ice Cube giving his take on, of course, what his involvement.
We apologize about the video.
I'm sure. Don't worry, we'll provide a link for you guys to go see it in its entirety.
But it's cool though.
It is very much.
He went off.
So Ice Cube, of course, in the video has responded to the criticism after it was revealed on Tuesday that he worked with Donald Trump's administration on what White House senior advisor Katrina Pearson called the Platinum Plan. Right, so we mentioned last week this is supposed to be a $500 billion package that will go ahead and actually help the Black or African American community. Right, the plan reportedly aims to create 3 million new jobs, push for criminal justice reform, improve access to better education, job opportunities, reduce healthcare costs, and designate Juneteenth as a national holiday. Now, the rapper took to his Twitter account to defend his involvement in the project after receiving backlash from fans and critics online. More specifically, the Are We There Yet actor responded to a tweet from a fan who wrote, "My hip-hop hero at Ice Cube is working with the dark side. I haven't felt this low since Kobe passed.
Oh, wow.
Heartbreaking." Right? They added, "Cube, I'm not sure you understand how much we value your voice. And when you see you jumping the shark, it kills us, especially in 2020. All right, so Ice Cube retweeted the supporters' post and replied, saying that every side is a dark side for us here in America.
Truth.
Right? They're all the same until something changes for us. They all lie. They all cheat.
Amen.
But we can't afford not to negotiate with whoever is in power, or our condition in this country will never change. Our justice is bipartisan."
Like, serious talks, Ice Cube, man.
Right? Right, very much, right?
Serious talks.
Definitely, right? Throughout the 2020 presidential race, Cube has continuously called out both parties to explain how they would help Black Americans should they win in the upcoming 2020 elections. Right, the No Vaseline rapper also called on politicians. I wonder why they want to get and use the name of this tell you. Wordplay, family. This is, in fact, artists coming from the Atlanta Black Star, and they would purposely said, use his song No Vaseline. Right, that's another topic for another day. However, though, right, he also called out politicians to sign his contract with Black America, which presented many commitments related to prison reform, bank lending, and more. On Tuesday, Ice Cube doubled down on his comments questioning the country's current two-party system. He also refused to endorse Democratic nominees Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Isn't Joe Biden under investigation?
We're looking definitely to see what more will come out of that.
Oh, wow. Sure. Okay.
Right? Claiming that they were both talking to, that they were taking the Black vote for granted, and further expressing that they had zero trust in either party. No president has done right by us, he said in an almost 8-minute video. Right? Almost 8-minute long video. Right? So I don't trust none of them. Putting our hopes and dreams behind any of them just don't work. I've been making contacts with them, trying to talk to them about these real issues. Straight up, I believe the Democrats have been nice. I don't really see them pushing their policies in any different direction. He continued to say that we also met with the Republicans. They've moved their agenda a lot because of what we've said. They've put $500 billion on the table, but who knows what's really going to happen. I just know one of them is going to win, and I don't know if it really matters to us. Now, fams, I went ahead and actually slammed the Hollywood star for not being transparent and falsely pretending that he was on neither side when that wasn't the case. 3 weeks ago, Ice Cube acted as if he was still facilitating between Biden and Trump while quietly working with Trump. I called it, or at least the author of this article calls it, manipulation of the black male vote. And I guess he feels that it is just. Right? I have my thoughts. I definitely do. Right? And from what I understand, he reached out to both parties.
That's what he said.
Right? The Democrats said, you know what, we'll talk after the election. Right? And Trump's administration, you know what,
Platinum plan.
Let's do it. Let's see what we can do right here, right now. Right?
Platinum plan.
So in that regards, I can't wrong him for wanting to go ahead and do something like that. I don't know if, in fact, you know what, if it was the right course of action, considering in regards to what's taking place right now. I don't know if, in fact, you know, if anybody should have just waited till after the election or not. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I understand, of course, everybody's point, right? A lot of people out there, of course, hurt because the simple fact, we don't trust no government.
Like he said, both sides of the dark side.
Right? And more importantly, we don't trust the black face or work with government. So it's, you know, I mean, there's a double-edged sword, you know, two sides to the quarter sort of thing, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's really, really hard in this day and age, especially since, you know, we do not have an actual political party for ourselves.
Right.
Right? When we continue to go ahead and rely on these other political parties to go ahead and do right by us, for us, this is exactly what is going to happen. Right? We're going to have people out there who, you know, and let's just say, let's go ahead and take this at face value for Ice Cube. Right? Let's just say his heart was really in the right place. Right? And you know what? By all means, do we or do we not take it as for face value? And we can understand, rightfully so. But at the end of the day, right, since we do not have a political party for ourselves, and we cannot rely on so-called black caucuses to go ahead and fight for us, right, do we have to go ahead and resort to these measures?
Interesting take.
I don't know.
It's a good clip.
It is what it is, man. Until we have a political party for ourselves. Do we continue to stand behind these people who just, you know, are career politicians?
Right. It's like, she's Jamaican and what does that have to do with anything? Who cares?
Right.
Good for her.
There you go.
Wonderful. How much has she done for her Jamaican people? I'm very curious.
Well, you know, I guess LA can go ahead and quote for that, right?
Okay. Anyhow. So when we get back, it's actually, Dave, you're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about...
yes, reparations.
Reparations.
I mean...
It's funny because it's like every other week, I feel like you find everyone's asking for money. And I keep asking, where are we getting all this money from?
Listen, you know, every week we find out some new program is being done, right? At how much millions of trillions...
Oh my God, right? But aren't all these places in deficit? Where is everyone getting... where's Europe? Where's North America? Where is Canada? Where are we getting all this money from? Where's all of this money coming from? So
the
crazy.
Push of 2 buttons. Yes, enter. Done.
Guys, we'll see you in the next segment of A Better Tomorrow. Jeez.
So essentially, I was one of the first primary care doctors in the country dealing with thousands of patients, literally thousands of patients infected with COVID. And, you know, our resources were overwhelmed. Half my staff got sick. They closed the laboratories and the radiology places, and the hospitals were near capacity. So it was a disaster. In terms of globally, I've advised 7 governments: Brazil, Honduras, Ukraine, Russia. Yeah, there was a few others. And I've been in contact with Senator Ron Johnson, the head of chair of Homeland Security. I get to speak to him weekly. I've been in contact with the White House, and I've dealt with Mark Meadows, who's the president's chief of staff, even on the commissioner of the FDA. I published a paper, which is soon going to be in an international peer-reviewed journal, with two German researchers that we collaborated together, which showed an 84% reduction in hospitalization and in death. So in other words, let me put it in English. Out of 100,000, well, in America, let's say, we had 200,000 people dead at this point. We could have prevented 84% of that. And now we're dealing with a second wave
Yes.
in my community, and we have hundreds of patients. Listen, hundreds of patients that are sick right now. No one's gone to the hospital. You know, we're supposed to protect the most vulnerable among us, which is the elderly and our grandparents, let's say, parents, and those that are sick. And it's the job of society to care for these people and protect them. And these are the people that are being most hurt. And in my opinion, we're living through a type of genocide, I would say, of the vulnerable.
I do not know how we can go further unless there is a reckoning first and foremost that places an apology and an acknowledgement that wrong was done and that successive centuries
12 from the region had gone to build those countries.
If you leave an entity 40 feet down into a hole, the only way they will get out of that hole is with assistance. And the extraction of centuries of wealth from our region.
Pro Vice Chancellor of the University of the
We're back.
Sorry.
Commission used the occasion to call for a summit.
Sorry. Sorry. Welcome back, guys. We're so sorry that we enslaved your people. We're so sorry. We are very sorry that we killed half of your relatives. I'm sorry.
Look here.
Okay?
You know,
Is that enough?
No, definitely not. Every time. Listen,
Holding unforgiveness is like poison for you.
Too many I'm sorry. Too many. It's like every week
we're getting apologies.
New apologies coming from somewhere. Guess
you destroyed your a whole generation, future generations of people, and we're very sorry for that. Okay, guys, very very sorry.
Anyways, that was of course the Right Honorable Miss Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of Barbados. That's right. She is part of the CARICOM Reparations Committee that wants $50 billion as money for an investment development fund donated as a starting point by entities that profited from slavery and apologize for their role to begin the Caribbean growth process and to be managed both regionally and globally.
I've added some of these just so you guys, you will be showing a couple headings so that people can go do some of their own reading. I want to make sure you guys can be up on this as well.
That one's, of course, from the Barbados Today. Excellent paper coming out of the islands. Right, but to continue on here, the initial money from this fund is not intended to be passed on to individuals, but with the approval of the Region and Global Management Committee, go towards capital outlay for much needed productive projects across the Caribbean and to prop up the social advancement of the people. Those who are being asked to contribute to the fund span from organizations which have in recent times publicly admitted to using gains from slavery for the startup of their operations that remain profitable today, to persons who stacked up individual wealth, which they admitted founded its seed financing in the enslavement of Africans in the Caribbean. Every bank in the high streets of England, all the banks that you know, Lloyds, Barclays, National Westminster, Midlands, all of them began their journey in the financing of slavery and colonialization.
How many people know that and may do their banking there? I wonder how many people know
Yeah, for sure, right?
that these banks were built off slavery.
Of course. That picture, in fact, was the University of West Indies Vice Chancellor Hilary Beckles. He's also the one who's making this comment just a while ago as well. Right. Incidentally, on October 12th is the anniversary of Christopher, as my uncle likes to call him, Columbus' first landing in the Americas when he touched down on the Bahamian island, later named San Salvador, in 1492. Professor Knight of the University of Alberta said in doing so, he, Christopher Columbus, ushered in a cycle of occupation, violence, genocide, and slavery, and heralded the advent of colonization.
You mean Christopher Columbus, the person we all learned about when we were younger?
Yes, the one who discovered that people
discovered every island in the world?
Discovered that people were already living on an island.
Right, he discovered people. Anyways.
All right, and the colonial legacy continues to plague the people of our region. Lloyd's of London, the largest insurance company in the world that made its fortune from insuring not only the slave ships, but insuring the Africans as property. They have also issued their apology.
We are sorry. I started this off by saying sorry to everybody, okay? We're sorry for enslaving your people and putting insurance on that.
You see that picture right there we seen just a while ago? That is the headquarters
of Lloyd.
There you go.
Yes.
Yep. Right. Another even more significant company to admit its role and apologize in the recent months is the Bank of England, which Beckles said was established to regulate all the cash coming into England from slavery.
Oh, they were just the middleman.
Not Miggle, not Miggle. So according to Beckles, the CARICOM committee's concept is not new.
Nope.
This is the model that was used largely by the Jewish Reparations Committee that got reparations out of Europe.
Oh, good for them.
Right? All right, Beckles disclosed, we did the numbers, 200 years of free labor from about 15 million people, including adults and children. You're talking about 7 trillion pounds. Right, or sterling, right? The reparations that we're talking about is about laying the foundation for the investment in the economic development of the Caribbean. And at the same time, it is about building institutions to allow for issues of identity and sovereignty and rights and education to be rooted in the pedagogy of identity and education and culture, right? So
they're not just going to be handing out money to people.
Not yet, at least.
It doesn't work that way.
At least not yet.
No,
I do believe, that, of course, everybody who is African should actually receive a check. That's just my personal belief.
I'd like a check.
Of course, why not? Yep, absolutely, right? However, though, I see no fault in, of course, for them going ahead and asking for this up front right away, by the way, as well. Who knows in regards to how much pressure, right, they will go ahead and actually put on, right? The UN, the World Bank, of course, the Lloyd's of London and the rest of all of them, right? But it is something that has been discussed. I know the African Union has went in and presented papers to the UN as well. The UN has went ahead and stated that reparations should be, of course, divulged. However, though, nobody not getting the money. So we'll see what happens.
All right. When we come back, we're going to actually stay in our little realm here. We're going to be talking about a story that's finally come to a little bit of a peak, and that's the whole Sars situation that's happening in Nigeria. That was actually brought to me by my old co-host of In the Now, Miss Christina Guerra. Big up yourself. And of course, we're going to stay in Nigeria actually and talk about some really. I want to end it. I really wanted to end it on a good note, and I think this is an excellent way to end this Friday show. So So you definitely need to come back and see us on the next segment of A Better Tomorrow. Welcome to the show. Thank you for taking your
Good
Friday.
to be here.
The first thing every totalitarian regime does, along with confiscation and mutilation of reality, is confiscation of history and confiscation of culture.
Demonstrating locally today in solidarity with the movement to end police brutality in Nigeria.
What do we want? What do we want? What do we want?
The group took turns gathering in Waterloo Public Square this afternoon to follow the current public health restrictions. Today's peaceful demonstration follows recent protests across Nigeria against the country's Special Anti-Robbery Squad, commonly called Sars. The controversial police unit is accused of extrajudicial killings and abuse.
Today is Thanksgiving Day, and we're giving thanks because, yes, we're happy we're in Canada, but we can't forget the young people who are on the street, who have no hope and no future, who are getting killed and murdered by the police. The least we can do is take out a few hours of our day to raise awareness in solidarity with their plight.
Although Nigeria's government has now promised to disband SARS, protesters say it's not enough, and they're demanding a total overhaul of policing in Nigeria.
Welcome back.
Yes, yes.
It's just like, I wish there was more support for people sometimes. I wish I don't know, sometimes I think we're so lax. And I get it. You know what? This is all part, and this is the funny thing. It's like the whole COVID-19 pandemic is like taking over the world in such a way that there are some things that are happening in this world that are, again, just complete like human rights violations in every way.
Absolutely.
And they're being ignored, but I almost feel like the biggest human rights violation to all of us right now is COVID, because it's causing a breakout. It's like a butterfly effect. All these things are happening, rippling from this one nucleus of garbage, which is what it is. So let's talk about SARS anyhow. So SARS is a specialized police group in Nigeria it was first set up to combat the rise of armed robberies that the country was facing. However, the unit has now become known as a company of thieves, mercenaries, they're saying, murderers, with just over 8 murders occurring during the peaceful protests that were happening in Nigeria just in the past 3 days. So they were set up in 1992 to address rising violent crime, but many have accused the unit of gradually mirroring the same groups that they were supposed to be set up to go against. So several protests have happened already here in Toronto. As you can see, that one was happening in actually Kitchener, just outside Toronto, as well as in New York and in London. A wave of outrage has been fueled over the last couple of weeks by the emergence online of graphic footage. Actually, Grant was just saying that if he had known we were doing this story, he was going to send us stuff. So there's that much stuff out right now.
A lot.
Of the abuses of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad called Sars. Like, they're turning hoses on people. What is this?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Vanguard News out in Nigeria has done a lot of reporting on this. Jesus,
like, because people are saying what you're doing is wrong. And it's interesting, though, because I feel like, again, I'm going to go back to the biggest human rights issue we have. It's the same type of thing, like the bullying, you know, the moment someone wants to speak out against something that's not right, it's like they get bullied because the tank is that much bigger. They have that much more money. They have more of a force behind them. It's just... So the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigerian Police Force has been dissolved. So this is what I've come here to announce today, that they've dissolved it with immediate effect. And this is a statement by the Office of the President, Muhammadu Buhari. Okay, and that was made on Sunday. So Inspector General Muhammad Adamu, who had previously dismissed the prospect of the unit being disabled or disbanded, also announced new measures in response to the yearnings of the Nigerian people, he says. So SARS officers will be redeployed to other units. So this is where I'm trying to make sense. So you're going to disband. So it's like, okay, this is how I see it. You know how in class sometimes you'll have like a group of students who, I'm not going to call them bad, but who, you know, are a little rambunctious. So it's like a teacher separating them and putting them in other groups.
Right.
Okay. That bad behavior still following the person, right? Like they're now just going to go and cause more disruption, but now it's just more widespread.
Yeah.
That's just what I see when I hear this, right? Like, you're not really, like, how does that work, right?
True.
Maybe they're thinking they'll have a little bit more control because there's more good than bad. Maybe. We'll see. That's going to be the new policing arrangement. So, given a recurring cycle in Nigeria of public outrage leading to government pledges that are then perceived not to have brought about tangible change, and that's what I was saying, like, it's not really going to change anything. The announcement was greeted by a mixture of euphoria that the authorities had been forced to act, and of course frustration that the measures did not go far enough. They just, like, no one was like reprimanded for their action. No one was really like, we're just gonna push the kids apart. It's gonna, you know, like, that's not, they've killed people. Like, when is that going to be looked at?
You know, and the interesting with this story is this, that even though Buhari went ahead and actually stated that he went and disbanded the group, it's the fact that ministers met with Buhari, right, and actually were against the decision of disbanding them, right? And that's the very troubling part.
Yeah, because it makes me wonder again with some of these people that we put so much of our trust in to lead our countries and our people, if they don't give, like, and I really shouldn't swear, but if they don't care, I'm not going to swear, if they don't care about your own human rights and your freedoms, something's wrong. Oh, we got video. Okay, what's happening here? Let's see what's happening in this video. Oh.
Yeah, that's a member of
Sars?
Yeah.
With a gun?
Yep.
Yeah, this is from today.
Oh.
Sars never shooting any rap protesters. Which Sars did you disband?
So but I thought they disbanded SARS. So what's this?
Yeah.
If this is from today.
Man, it's nuts. It looks like some rogue officers, you know, taking justice into their own hands.
They've been taking justice into their own hands. So again, people, we can still do something from here. There's some things that are happening. Like, there's things happening. That's why I was like, the world is going crazy right now. I feel like this is all the plan.
Yeah, I talked to the Region of 6. That is, of course, the Sixth Union of Africa. For those who don't know, definitely put pressure on them, right? Go ahead and actually use their political connections to go ahead, right, and make these people go ahead and be accountable.
Hold these people accountable for taking lives because people don't agree with the way that they're being treated. Like, you can't, like... Anyways. All right. Let's end on a happy note.
Yeah, you know, when I first heard this news, I one hand I was like, okay, cool. You know, like, there's an American company who actually took set, you know, and an actual African, you know, tech company, right? And now, of course, you know, it's going to be very interesting as to like what will take place, how they'll grow from, of course, this merger.
How this plays out. We have a video. Do you want to do the video first?
Well, sure, let's do it.
Let's do the video on what this is.
My name is Shola Akinade, co-founder and CEO of Paystack. I grew up in Lagos, started writing software 2002, 2003. That's when I met Ezra. We went to school together at Babcock University. Sometime in 2015, I figured out that I could charge a card from my computer, that it was cool. At some point I showed OO and I was like, yo guy, this is a company, this is Stripe. We became the first Nigerian company to get into YC. Our story was very simple. The only way we could describe Paystack was like Stripe for Africa. So many people were asking me, oh, do you want to meet Stripe for Stripe? Like, do you want to meet the real Stripe? And we did that. We raised a Series A, $8 million from Stripe and Visa.
Quickly, you have raised $10 million to date, and you just finished your Series A, which is at $8 million. Yes. So tell us what...
Both companies are really aligned. I think we're trying to do the same thing, help people start and scale internet businesses, increase the GDP of the internet. And I think about how over the next few years, there are going to be bigger exits because now it can be done.
Your growth has been, I mean, I think the technical term for it is completely nuts.
If one of the most sophisticated companies in Silicon Valley can acquire a company from our ecosystem, like that is just going to unlock a lot of opportunities. This is going to tell people that you can make things and, you know, and you can, like, it can work. You can build your dreams and you can get it done. What would you do if?
So pretty.
Very much, right? Oh. I know. You know, we definitely got to take a trip.
I want to go.
That's for sure. And maybe not come back. Nigerian fintech startup Paystack, acquired by Stripe, in what now has been called an actual landmark monument for African tech ecosystem, right? So Paystack, launched in 2016 by Shola Akinlade, who was the gentleman, of course, on our left, right? And Ezra Olubi, which is the gentleman on the right. Paystack is a payments company that helps businesses in Africa get paid by anyone, anywhere in the world.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, basically, they are the Stripe of Africa.
That's fantastic.
Right? All right, so the startup processes over 50% of all web payments in Nigeria, powering payments for over 60,000 organizations, including FedEx, UPS, MTN, and many more. The company has now been acquired by Stripe, which led Paystack's $8 million US funding round back in 2018. Stripe's payment software is used by customers including Amazon, Google,
cool.
Shopify, Zoom, and so on and so forth, right? And its acquisition of Paystack is the latest move in its international expansion. Paystack will be Stripe's catalyst for growing internet commerce in Africa, with the Lagos-based startup having plans to expand across the continent, starting with a pilot in South Africa.
Amazing things, man.
Right? In just 5 years, Paystack has done what many companies could not achieve in decades. Their tech-first approach, values, and ambition greatly align with our own. This acquisition will give Paystack the resources to develop new products, support more businesses, and consolidate a hyper-fragmented African payments market, said Matt Henderson, Stripe's business lead in EMEA. Paystack will continue to operate independently, growing its operations in Africa and adding more international payment methods. Over time, Paystack's capabilities will be embedded in Stripe's global payments and treasury network, a programmable platform for global money movement that currently spans 42 countries. Paystack is a growth engine for modern businesses in Africa, and we couldn't be more excited to join forces with Stripe, whose mission and values are so in line with ours to nurture transformative businesses on the continent, said Akinlade. Right, this is just an amazing story coming out of Nigeria for the fintech world.
News.
You know, it could be it could be a thing where we got to like with more mergers to take place. I know, of course, Africa has been a hotspot for a lot of U.S.-based companies, especially in the music side of things. You know, Def Jam has now opened up a label on the continent, I should say, with 2 offices in Nigeria and as well as South Africa. Right, so I mean, you know, it's good that, you know what, like there's more eyes now on the tech space in Africa.
It's excellent.
Right? Companies like Flutterwave, which is wonderful and excellent fintech company, right? Another one, which is actually in America, however, though, could possibly expand is payments, right? They do exactly the same thing that PayPal does.
Okay.
They're just African owned, right?
Okay.
So I mean, like it's a growing sector. Right, it is something, of course, you know, with everything taking place now, especially with COVID, you know, the digital space is really where the new war is right now, right? So for those who can go ahead and get in, right, and create something, by all means, go ahead and do so. Kudos to you, gentlemen.
Wasn't that a great way to end the show? Like, we started off with some shitty-ass vaccines, and we end with payments, money coming into Africa. It's a beautiful thing. Love it. Guys, definitely want you to, and we thank all of our viewers. We thank all the support. The support for us has been growing, and we're so thankful. We are, for the people who are supporting us, our longtime supporters and our new supporters. Thank you. Don't forget to like. Definitely share this out if there's something in here that you think someone else may need to hear. Might even be a creative idea that someone else needs to acquire. And support us by subscribing to my TCN TV network, subscribing to Toronto Caribbean Newspaper. Pick up the latest Toronto Caribbean newspaper that just came out. We are always, again, our goal is to not only share alternative news for you guys, but also to show you the uplifting things that are happening, because a lot of us, yes, we are in a corona world right now, but there are other things happening, and there's some wonderful things happening, and we as an organization are doing our best to present both the balance of positive and, you know, some of the nonsense that's happening, but we always combat it with a positive message. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, guys. Peace and love. We'll see you guys next week on A Better Tomorrow.
Pamoja tutashinda.
I don't know what that means.
Together we will win.
Together we will win.
There you go.
Bye, guys.